What you put on your skin is just as important as what you put in your mouth. My name is Megan. I'm a nutrition practitioner and also the creator of Skinny Fitalicious. You may be surprised to know this, but there are tons of toxic chemicals that reside on the personal care products that you use every day. So think skincare, makeup, things that you put on your skin, on your face, and you don't even think twice about it. We talk a lot about the chemicals and added sugar in food, but we don't talk enough about what happens when we put this stuff on our bodies. And what most people don't realize is that there are chemicals in these over-the-counter products that we buy at Target, Walmart, wherever you happen to buy them, even Sephora. And what's really scary is in the United States, only 10 chemicals are actually banned. The EU has more than 1,000 chemicals that are banned. And in the US, there are only 10. That is really scary. You know what else is scary? There are 80,000 chemicals that are out on the market in our products every single day, and only about 10% of them have actually been tested for safety. Usually the only time something gets tested for safety is when there are multiple complaints to the FDA. That is when they will actually take action and investigate. It is completely left up to manufacturers to test for safety. And we know how good that is done because of the food that we're eating. So you guys, if you've been following me for a while, you know I lost 80 pounds in 2009. You also know that I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease a few years ago. So one of the things that I have learned with having Hashimoto's disease is that I have to really be careful with the things that I am exposed to. And something that took me a really long time to realize is that your skin is an organ. Everything you put on your skin gets seeped into your bloodstream, just like whatever you eat gets into your body, right? And so whenever something gets seeped into your bloodstream, what happens? Your immune system can actually overreact to something like a chemical or a toxin. So just think about it. Every woman usually uses about 12 products every single day, and there's over 168 chemicals in these products. I'm not somebody who uses a ton of skincare products or a ton of makeup products, but I know I'm being exposed to these chemicals. And one of the reasons I know is because I was diagnosed about 6 months ago with a cyst in my lymph node. And I know that this is a result of the deodorant I was using. And this is something that, with having Hashimoto's disease, I need to be really careful about. I need to make sure my immune system is healthy, because what happens when we get chemicals in our body? They look like hormones, and our immune system overreacts and our hormones get disrupted. And when our hormones are disrupted, we can't lose weight. So people who have trouble losing weight, one of the things I always coach them around is transitioning to safer products, safer everyday products around the house, safer products that they put on their skin, especially on their skin. We as humans are naturally exposed to a ton of chemicals just in the air, just in the water, just in our environment that we live in. So why wouldn't you take the opportunity to be a better consumer and make sure that the things you actually put on your skin are not things that have chemicals? You want things that are chemical and toxic free. And this is really important. You know, if you're somebody who's been trying to lose weight for a really long time, or you're dealing with an autoimmune condition like Hashimoto's, like me, you need to be careful with your immune system. And if you haven't been able to lose weight, it's likely that your hormones are disrupted. We're seeing this more and more in studies. People having early menopause, people having early onset puberty, people having PCOS and fertility issues and other hormone dysregulations. And what's happening is there's so many chemicals that we're being exposed to that it's disrupting our hormones. And this is what contributes to the lack of being able to lose weight. So we have to be careful not only with the foods that we're eating and avoiding added sugar and chemicals, but also the stuff that we're putting on our body. And it wasn't until I really had this health scare that I took action. And this is what happens with most people. They get scared about something, or there's something that comes in their labs and their doctor says, you better make a change. And that's when they start making a change. But I'm here to tell you, as somebody who's living with Hashimoto's disease, that you need to take action before you get those diagnoses, before you become diagnosed with a cyst in your lymph node, before you get an autoimmune disease, before you have been trying for 5 years to lose weight unsuccessfully. I have a client right now who's got hormone problems, and it is 100% true. When you have hormone problems, you will not lose weight. So the chemicals that you're putting on your body, lotions, makeup, you know, anything that you use, body lotions, these things are going to look like hormones. They mimic hormones in your body. And then guess what? Your hormones don't function properly because your immune system starts to attack them or shut them down because it thinks that it has excess, when really it just has too many of the bad hormones. So shifting over to chemical-free products is really what I suggest for everyone. And one way you can look at all the chemicals in your household is by using what's called the Think Dirty app. There's also another app called the EWG database. This database will actually be a little bit more comprehensive, I found, than the Think Dirty app, because the Think Dirty app is more recent. But you can use this app to look at your everyday household products. So for instance, I took my oil of Olay. This is stuff I've been using since I was a teenager because I'm highly allergic to everything. On top of everything else, I'm super hypoallergenic. And so this is the only stuff that ever worked for me, this oil of Olay stuff that I would get at Target. And so guess what? I would type it into my Think Dirty app, oil of Olay, and this is the total effects. And you should do this too. Go in your house, go look in what makeup you're buying, and type in the name brand, type in the ingredient, whatever it is, and see what you come up with. So here was, if I can find it, here's the total, the daily moisturizer that I'm using. This is in the Think Dirty app, okay? And I'll write all this in the comments for you guys so you can go look at your products too. So this one comes up with an 8. So we know red is bad. 8 to 10 means it's very dirty, very toxic. Anything that comes up as a green is going to mean that it's healthy, it's toxic free, and anything that is in a yellow is going to be, well, you should maybe caution this, we're not so sure. Okay, so when I looked up all of my oil of Olay products that I've been using since I was a kid, because, you know, it's the only thing that's ever worked for me because everything else makes me break out in a rash. And I started looking at this, I went, wow, it's no wonder I have an autoimmune disease, because for a long time I was putting a lot of chemicals in my body, eating the wrong foods, and now I'm putting the wrong skincare on my body as well. And it's because this market is unregulated. It is the least regulated market of anything out there. And that's just because our government is really overwhelmed. So we as consumers need to be smarter about the things that we put on our skin, because these are the things that seep into our bodies and disrupt hormones. And when hormones are disrupted, we don't lose weight, we have weird cravings, and we have fertility issues, reproductive issues, that kind of thing. Okay, so I've switched over all of my personal care to Beautycounter within the last 6 months, and I have not been happier. I was really skeptical when I did this because I'm allergic to everything. Everything makes me itch, break out, whatever. Like my poor mother, when I was a kid, she was always having to change detergents and stuff. But when I switched over to Beautycounter, I was really happy with how the products made me feel. The lotions weren't like super oily and running off my face when I worked out, and I love the mascara and all of the makeup that I have tried, and haven't had any issues in terms of allergies, and all their products are clean and safe. And as a matter of fact, they are one of the very few companies who are actually rallying for change in our government, for them to start changing the regulations around the chemicals that are put into products. You know that the last time a law was passed about beauty care was in 1938. That's almost 100 years ago. That's insane, right? And so we're putting these products on our bodies, and who knows what's in them. No wonder there's so many people who are having medical issues these days. It makes so much sense, right? So I am doing an awesome deal right now. If you want to get some free samples of Beautycounter to try it out, because I was really skeptical when I tried. I didn't want to buy like big products because I wanted to see how my skin was going to react. I wanted to see if I was going to break out into rashes or if it felt right. So if you want to get some samples from me, I will certainly send them to you. No problem, no commitment. There's a form. I'll put it in the comments below. You can fill out the comments and I will ship those off to you as soon as I get all those products in. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to let me know. Oh yes, I also have another freebie for you guys. I have a free download for you with all of the toxic chemicals that you should be looking out for and avoiding in your personal care, skincare, makeup products. And remember, sunscreen is also a personal care product and it is one of the biggest offenders. So get rid of your sunscreen. Neutrogena is rated as the most toxic. So throw it out and get a cleaner one. And if you have any more questions, just drop them below.